Hey everybody, welcome inside the studio. Chad Rosemay here with you, back at it. A couple of days of no racing here at Mohawk Park, but we're back at it on our busy summer schedule. Another 5-day stretch getting underway, and it's a 5-day stretch that's going to be pretty good over the next few days because we do have some stakes eliminations coming up tomorrow, including some stakes finals. We'll touch on that at the end of tonight's show as well. But as we gear up for what's going to be a busy next several weeks with Grand Circuit races right here at Harness Racing's premier venue. Randy Waples alongside. He'll be here for all of this Grand Circuit action that we've got, and we've already touched on it. We know it's going to be fast and furious, and we kind of get into it tomorrow with a couple of eliminations for the Peaceful Way and the William Wellwood.
Yeah, it almost seems to me like sometimes, that's the summer's over when the Wellwood and the Peaceful Way, come out. So boo-hoo. Yeah. Summer could potentially be over, but I'm very, very interested in, those horses that we have racing there. I'm not not a big on the 2-year-old trotting colts. Haven't really broke it down, but I mean the fillies division trotter or pace in the last few years, they've been the dominant show, I think. And once again this year, they're the dominant bunch, the fillies and the mares, I find anyway.
Yeah, we got some nice ones in town tomorrow. So part of a busy 12 race card, 12 on Friday, 12 on Saturday as well. Saturday's going to have a different look because we've got so many drivers out of town. A couple are going to be at Pocono during the day and getting here later on. Then many of them are going to be out on the East Coast. Old Home Week continues. They got the Gold Cup and Saucer. I think down there we've got Doug, Jody, Louie. Mm-hmm. Jason Ryan, I think, might be down there as well. I'm not sure if anybody else went or not. But anyway, there's a slew of drivers that aren't going to be here Saturday.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's going to be kind of a bit of a ghost town here Saturday. But nice card they put together. It's just interesting when you turn to the page and you'll see guys that are sometimes driving 3 and 4. All of a sudden they got a full card on Saturday. Yeah, that's kind of cool. I like that.
Yeah, and you get those guys that are hungry.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. This is an opportunity.
So,
when the big boys are out of town, when they have to travel, this is an opportunity. And if I'm not mistaken, I think James is carded Saturday night here around the 8th race.
Yeah, later. Yeah, right. Yeah, because he's at Pocono.
Yeah, but I mean, how is he going to make it back? He must have a private, does he?
Yeah, I wonder if because Mark's going as well. So is Mark also scheduled late?
That I couldn't tell you.
Okay. Mark's got a couple, but James as well. I would think flying back.
Flying private.
Yeah, because I think their card goes to about 6:30ish, something like that.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, in there, but maybe Doc's flying them. I don't know.
There you go.
I don't know how many seats he's got on that plane.
I don't know either. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, one can always just be strapped on.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to give him a bad drive there and be flying home with him there. He might give you the.
Yeah, he'll be saying, you don't need to lock that door.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No, you don't need this mask.
No, you don't need that.
You're good. All right. We're looking ahead at what could be transpiring over the next couple of times that we've got grassroots legs, because it's starting to get into the crunch time already. You talk about summer maybe coming to a close. I mean, leg 4A for the grassroots for the Thrill Pacing Colts and Geldings is going to be contested here tonight. So far, this is what's been going on as far as points. We've got Dax Yoster leading the way over illicit behavior, Johnny Angel. So we know that we end up going because now it's just right into a championship, right? We don't do semis in a championship like we used to do. Correct?
I don't think so.
No, then it was essentially like your top 20 get first crack at it.
Yeah.
I think it's just top 10.
I think so.
Go in, but we still have, you win that, and you have an opportunity to go into the super final if less than 10 enter, and you get an opportunity to go in there, and that's
what Crackshot did.
Crackshot's done that. We've had a couple so far already capitalize on that opportunity over the last couple of years doing it. Plus the purses are up again a little more this year for those finals. I think those finals are going for something like 100,000 this year as well. So that's what's going on. So it's good to kind of see this because you'll see some horses tonight that are maybe just on the bottom here, maybe some that aren't even on there just yet, and they need to get some points, right? You want to get those in, and you're getting, we've seen it already too, Randy. You're at this point in the season where we're starting to get some gold horses that have decided to kind of change course.
Yeah, well, that's the big thing at the bottom of the list, right? You got exactly correct. Until the cows come home, have now, basically gotten away from the golds and now going to take a chance with the grassroots. And the other one that's also going to go grassroots here, and he's definitely a gold colt, is Who Let the Dogs Out. He's in tonight in the
Okay,
Grassroots as well. So he's gotten away from them as well. So, yeah, this time of the year, you got to make up your mind. You know, can I get through these Gold Series picking up 4th and 5ths, or do I want to take a chance, drop down to the Grassroots level and become the best one?
Yeah, so 3 different opportunities tonight for some of these horses to pick up perhaps some much-needed points, or for others to maybe pad their stats and increase the lead and get maybe a little comfortable knowing you're going to be good as far as the championships go. As we dive in, we've got a lot of youngsters on the card tonight. I know that can make things tricky. And, you know, this time of year, you know, it could be 2-year-olds that are just late starters. Maybe something prevented them. You know, maybe it was just a maturity thing and they didn't get going until now. Or, you know, some that, you know, tried some stakes company and now they're trying to kind of build themselves back up. It's kind of a mixed bag of 2-year-olds tonight.
It is, yeah, for sure. I mean, some of them, like you said, just kind of starting, and some of them, you know, in that kind of gray area. You know, where do I go from here? You know, a lot of them are probably within the next 2 to 3 weeks. A lot of these ones are going to be visiting Dr. Green out in the fields. You know, the ones that just can't push on. You know, I mean, you always get the ones that are, you know, maybe a little bit too big for themselves. You know what I mean? Growing into themselves and that's the best thing for them. Hot weather and grassy fields.
Yeah, turn them out. Focus in on a 3-year-old campaign. So a field of 10 here in the opener. Garnet's got one that I know that you've not minded the first couple of starts in Notre Dame, but the 10-hole here tonight is going to make things tricky. You're going to go with Global Choice, however, from post 4. He and, you know, a horse like Whiskey Stinger, they've been racing south of the border and back here to where it all began for them.
Yeah. You know, Whiskey Stinger, a perfect sting, and Global Choice, a courtly choice. You know, Blake, there's almost, you think that these things should be switched. Myrna should be training the perfect sting, and Blake should have the courtly choice because he had courtly choice. But Global Choice, to me, very interesting horse in here. He's also going to be, you know, Mark's choice in this race, you know, through a couple of other ones. And I like him in here, coming back here. He shows good miles. I mean, you know, Saratoga, you come a last quarter in 27 flat over Saratoga. I mean, Saratoga's a nice track, but it's still a half-mile track, you know, 27 flat. That's a heck of a quarter, you know, for a 2-year-old. So he shows speed. Just looks like maybe the New York Sires has been a little bit tough, and he's been racing in the tough New York Sires.
I was going to say the top ones.
Yeah, not the Excelsior. You know, he's been racing in the real tough ones. So to me, this is a huge drop down for a Global Choice. And like I said, he's also McDonald's choice in here. Whiskey Stinger, threw him in for second. Really liked his last start here, Chad, on June the 29th. He ends up finishing third in there, comes 26 on the end of it. That was a good race. He had the 7-hole left out of there and still had some pop on the end of it. So, you know, if there's not too much damage done down in the Meadowlands, then he should be live in here as well. But the one that's really kind of appeals to me, but I just don't want to put him up on top just yet, is this 6-horse Moonlit Dancer. I kind of like him, and check out the horses that he's been having to race against so far. He's had 2/3 in the morning, and I mean, the last one he was in against Century Nantucket, who I think's not a bad horse. And then his very first lifetime start, he faces LA Captain, Wheels Up, and Billy Hill. Those are 3 really nice colts, you know. So interested to see, you know, how much of a progression this guy's going to have. Hasn't raced since July the 27th, so a bit of a stinky date. But I'm just interested to see what it is that we have here, because I kind of like the lines on this one.
Yeah, and I feel like I've been announcing Chantel Mitchell in the winner's circle a little more frequently lately too. So as you know, that can, you know, spread through everybody. You know, one starts winning, and you know, it just becomes a snowball effect.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right, so that's the way we kick things off. $75,000 guaranteed early pick 5 begins with some 2-year-olds. More 2-year-olds in race number 2 on the trot. However, non-winners of 2 or $20,000 lifetime. So we do have horses that are already winners in here, and others that are maybe preparing for their next OSS try, like a DA Johnny Cash. You know, for Chris Matthews, again, it's got to be frustrating because he knows the talent that he's got. Yeah. He's already displayed it. But he also, as we see with many young trotters, he struggles with his gait at times.
He does, you know, and that's wearing the pants, you know, wearing the hobbles. He doesn't even have anything to go to in there. I think there's a lot of talent, and he's a colt racing in against a lot of fillies. So, I mean, he's going to get a lot of support from me. I threw him in for second. Where I'm going to go, this is a tough race. You really, I all this in my pick 5.
Okay.
I think you could go a lot of different ways, but where I'm going to go is the 7-horse Stormont Violet is going to be my pick in here. We're going to go show her replay. We're not going to show the last one at Grand River. You can see she had the 8-hole at Grand River, went to the back, spent some time on the outside, but overall a good mile. But let's
Very
take
good
a
mile
look.
from there.
Right. Let's take a look at her last race here, though. I don't know if you remember this one, Chad, but even the one that she was in against, we were talking about Golds dropping into Grassroots. This Twinbee Kingsley looked awful good when McEnany first brought her out, this trotting filly. This is the sister to Twinbee Archie.
Yep.
Right. And this one, to me, finishes a real good second. So this is Kingsley up on top here right now. And I mean, look at the big stride, big girth. And my father absolutely loves this Scott McEnany trainee. And look at this girl coming into her grill here. This is Stormont Violet. Tyler Borth going to be picking her up. I think she made up some serious ground into what I would call, you know, a filly that could go either gold or Grassroots. You know, I mean, obviously going to be a top Grassroots filly, Twinbee Kingsley, but she's probably 4th or 5th best in the golds as well, you know. So I think that this was a good indication that, you know, maybe this one's been racing in the Grassroots, but maybe she's a little bit better. I like the movement on the end of it, so Stormont Violet's the way I'm going to go.
What about the Blay filly? Bred to the 9s on the inside. Very expensive yearling who's been over this family. You know, Swinging Royalties produced a few foals, but they've all been fantastic. This one won second time out. I mean, but I think what some are going to overlook is the fact that it was just 59 and change. I can't help but think that there's a lot more here than what we're seeing.
Were you calling that night?
I can't remember if I was or not.
Anyway, she win, and she win easy, but I don't really think she beat anybody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And where I didn't use her in here, although I did, you know, all this race, but where I didn't use her in my picks is because she's got the rail. Not really sure where he's going to get away with the rail. Don't know if he's going to want to, you know, two-mover in this race or not. It's tough to figure Bobby out sometimes, especially from the rail. So left her off, but like I said, I all this race. You could go any way in here, so good eye on you. I'm just looking at it as maybe one that just maybe needs to improve a little bit more, but she certainly is improving. And what about the purchase price on her?
I know.
Hey, over $500,000.
Yeah.
Nice.
Over to race number 3. Our first of 3 looks at the Grassroots. Leg 4A again in the season-long series for the Thrill Pacing Colts and Geldings. Group of 9. Till the Cows Come Home was one of those horses you pointed out, bottom of the list. He's just recently, switched from the gold. He was gold all last year, gold to start this year. And not only that, he was, a lot of times he was kind of second best to Bojangles last year, right?
100%.
Put together a fantastic campaign, but for whatever reason this year has just been a little bit more of a struggle. But so far, I think it's been helping him out getting into this Grassroots.
Yeah, I think the ones that were really racing hard last year, it's a struggle for them this year. Not just him. We're seeing the same thing with Bojangles. He raced really hard last year. Now he's just kind of struggling to find his mojo, his momentum. This guy here, he came back racing good, but I think that he really needed this drop down. The first time they dropped him down was when they took him to Sarnia and raced him there. And he was the absolute crushed down there, win by 4 for Chris Jr. and Carl. He's going to be my top pick in here, and we're going to show you his last race here. I thought that this was a good one. In against Exactly Correct. I'm going to throw Exactly Correct in for second, Chad. He's got the rail. Till the Cows Come Home has the 5-hole. I say no matter how you look at it, Till the Cows Come Home at this point has an advantage on post position anyway. I think he can get from the 5-hole a lot easier than what Mark's going to have to work with from the rail. We might be looking at a remove with Exactly Correct, but Exactly Correct's bringing in fantastic form. Yeah, I agree. He's a real nice form, but I like the Jameson one too. I think you could easily switch this Exactor. I threw Hall of Fear in for third as well. I think he looks good, but you can see Jody, he's not far out of this, you know what I mean? He certainly isn't the best one, but he certainly isn't far out of it either. Had no answers for Exactly Correct, but to the same effect though too, Exactly Correct was tripped to death in that race. Can Mark come right back and do the same kind of a trip from the rail? Don't know. So I'm going to reverse it this time. I think that there's more of a chance you're going to get a price on Till the Cows Come Home than you're going to get on Exactly Correct. And more or less a sweep of Exactly Correct. I go to Till the Cows, but interesting that Kevin Plaucha went to the 7-horse Hall of Fear. 2 starts ago, that was an incredible mile in 49.
Yeah, and if he can work out that kind of trip again, right? And maybe that's what he's gonna eye. You know what? Leave out of their heart. He's pretty handy that way. And then don't be on the front with him, and hopefully get that helmet.
Are we seeing like a resurgence of Sports Rider, a horse that hasn't really been a big mixture in the last couple of years? But I mean, he's got this guy that's racing very, very well, and the 2-year-old of C-Script.
Oh, yes.
That's another one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right?
You know what I mean? Yeah. It's almost what makes.
No, that one's not undefeated because he lost.
Oh yeah,
but Atlas Ross is the undefeated one, right?
Right. Yeah. But he was placed.
But he's been But racing great. Sports Writer saying I'm still here.
Yeah, I'm still around. Yeah,
right.
For sure.
Fourth race, pick 6 gets underway here. We've got 2-year-old filly trotters, nominators of 1 or 10,000 lifetime with a group of 10. We do have some firsters in here, inside and outside of the gate. So from the Waples book of handicapping, I don't think you're going to like either one of these really, given the post positions they get in their debuts.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, the Uncle Bill one's really interesting from the rail too. Out of Keepsake Hanover, expensive yearling too. For Bill McClure, but she looks good in there. I'm going to do a wait and see on her. I don't really see a whole lot happening from the rail. I might be wrong, but I just don't see it. Her last qualifier, August the 14th, so I don't really think that they could have slipped anything in there, in between. So I'm going to take a wait and see on her now. The 2-horse I'm throwing in for second, used her a few times. She's going to go to hobbles tonight. Miss Molly too. I like the movement that she has. The 8-horse threw in for 4th, Snow Dream. This one was sneaky good on end in her last start here before she went to Grand River. 9-5 throwing this one down in for 3rd. But Peachy D, to me, Chad, is the girl that stands out in this race. You know what I mean? At one time, I'm sure that they were given some thoughts to maybe going to golds on this one, the way she qualified and looked her first couple of starts. But then when she made that break, to me, she made that break simply because she had so much trot in the 2-hole. She got up on James's back and ended up making a mistake, and then right after that, that's when they started to go to the hobbles. Hobbles haven't slowed her down any. She's had a 5th where she was used multiple times from the 9-hole. Then she had the 8-hole after that. Again, she left out of there hard, landed down on the inside. He never moved her after that, Tyler Board. That was the first time he drove her, and she had good wheels. They go to Grand River. She comes up with a good second. Now she comes back to a maiden. I think that it's time for a graduation ceremony for Peachy D.
Yeah, and what about Cooler Fashion in here? Better draw, a couple of 57 and change miles. If this one could just drop even a little bit more off of that, I think is obviously right there.
Absolutely, yeah. She's got to be right there as well. The only thing that I would caution on her a little bit is I just don't find that there's a whole lot on the end of her miles. You know what I mean? She looks real good for 3/4 of a mile, and then it just seems like she doesn't have much to hold a few out. The one I'm really interested in is this Molly 2 going to hobbles. I'm telling you, there's been different times that lines don't look good, but there's been times that she has shown big talent. The one time she's second with broken equipment, trotted home in 27 and change.
Yeah, the overall time might not be quick, but that's still fast.
That's right. She's quick for pieces. Yep. Maybe the hobbles will just kind of gel it all together.
All right, that's the 4th race with some 2-year-olds to start the pick 6. We're going to skip over race number 5. We're going to head to race 6, where we get underway the late pick 5. This time we get some older horses, 4 and under, nominators of 1 in this group on the trot. Broadway Star, here's one that's just been knocking on the door, but so far 0 for 8, in his career. So some will say, well, this is one I'm going to continue to play against. But I'll use them. We've got a few of those right now that are kind of into that category. You try a price here? Where'd you go?
No, I did this just like you said. I'm playing against them. I went to the 8-horse.
Oh, Chex Mix.
Yeah. Picking up Bob McClure for the first time. I like the barn that he comes out of. I think again he's another one that showed brief glimpses of talent. A couple of times she's trotted in 55. Not too many of the rest of them in here show those kinds of miles. She's got a good starting spot from, and like I said, she's picking up McClure for the first time. I find that McClure first time is just as strong as any angle out there. Dougie first time, James first time, Louis first time. I find that McClure first time is just the strongest of an angle. So going to go to this one. Broadway Star, going to throw this one in for second. Frankly, Chad, I'm kind of starting to wonder, at some point are we going to see Broadway Star with the LASIK symbol beside him? Okay. Because 8 starts, as good as he's racing, he should have finished them off. And maybe I'm going a little bit too tough on him. Maybe tonight will be the night that, he's going to be the best in here. But again, I just see a lot of seconds in that. So I'm going to take a chance with him. And another one that I kind of interested in as well is Dreamin' Sealster. Now this guy going to be making his first start for Gary Murner. He's going to be coming out of the Paul Megan's camp. I'm pretty sure that's Paul's own or Saltwater stable.
I was just going to say, I think Paul trains for that.
I think so, yeah. So it looks like they've gone searching for a different set of eyes maybe with this guy. And his last start, July the 24th. So they had lots of time to tinker with this girl, change her around a little bit. So I'm going to throw her in there.
Recently on Lasix.
Right. So just a few things that you might think, maybe she's a little better than a prospect. So throwing her down in on the bottom, and then Stormont Friedboy, I obviously would have had him ranked higher than third. But from the 10 hole, I'm just going to say if he's third out of the 10 hole, I'd be happy with that.
Yeah, Monkey Talk for Team Jones is getting Lasix here tonight. Man, though, it's tough to back horses coming off a qualifier where you broke.
Yeah, it is. You know what I mean? And you know my thing with Lasix. I think that when you first go to Lasix, you got to give them an easy one. I think that it's just that you'll never get ahead of them. You'll never know if you're winning the battle if you go out and race them exactly the same first start with Lasix, unless you can maybe get a schooler, a fast training mile under with Lasix, then come here and use this as your second start Lasix. But if it's your first start Lasix, I don't think you'll ever get ahead of them unless you give them that opportunity to, get better on their own.
Over to more OSS Grassroots in race number 7 for the Thrill Pacing Colts and Geldings. It's starting our late pick 4 here as well. We've got a field of 10. Illicit Behavior. He's racing well, and he's up there on the points list. I think he was second. I think we saw there. He's got a good draw. Next door, though, Johnny Angel. He's been good, but now he's getting off the Lasix program.
That's interesting.
The rule here is once you go on it, you got to stay on it for 100 days. Right? I think that's what it is.
Is it 100? I thought it was 180.
I think it's 100.
Is it 100?
Yeah,
okay.
I think so. I think it's 100.
You're the former judge.
Well, yeah, I didn't learn much. And Johnny Angel, for him, maybe it was something where Lasix didn't really agree with him. Maybe it didn't help him. Maybe it's more of a hindrance.
Yeah, it could be. And the other thing is too is that just because they go on Lasix doesn't mean they got to stay on it the rest of their lives. Sometimes it will heal them.
Yeah.
You don't need it anymore. And then you're working against them. So interesting. I threw him in for fourth. All that speed. Now he's coming off of Lasix. But this is another really, really tough race. If you could somehow manage it or whatever, this would be a race that you could easily you could go a lot of different ways in here, but Illicit Behavior is the way that I'm going to go with him. Mega Moves, throwing him in for second. Run to the Hills in for third, and then Johnny Angel that we were just talking about, going to throw him in for fourth. But so many different ways that you can go with this one. But I've always kind of looked at, and this is before, exactly correct, until the cows come home and who the dogs let out, that we're going to come up to in a little bit. Before these guys all drop down, I always kind of looked at Illicit Behavior as the dominant grassrooter.
Okay.
His speed that he can bring. And I like this draw better than where he was before, Chad, with the 1 and the 3. I don't think he possesses really any gate speed whatsoever. So that inside draw is not going to work to his advantage. Now he's got the middle of the gate. He's going to have no swing either way. So I think that this is a much better spot for Illicit Behavior. And McClure, always seems to be able to get him into a good spot. Paced his last 2 starts in 50 and change. I say he's ready for a big effort.
Yeah, the horse for me would be Run to the Hills because he's trying Grassroots for the first time this year. So he's obviously playing catch up. You need a couple of events. You need some good finishes to try and get yourself into that championship. And that was just a rugged trip last time.
Well,
that's way down and just, he was just used hard and he paid for it.
That's what I had him kind of down as to, a little overdriven, let's say. But now he's got the rail. And unless he can push out of there real good, it looks to me like he's in a situation where he potentially might have to make 2 moves again. You know what I mean? After that real tough trip in his last start or whatever. So I'm going to throw him in for third.
Okay, that's race number 7. Race number 8, we're back to the 2-year-olds. We've got rookie Colton Gelding trotters in this 8th race. Nominers of 1 or 10,000 lifetime. Field of 10, we do have just the 1 first-time starter, T.H. Patrick. For Clark Beebe, you'll send out this son of King of the North. Morning line favorite in the centers. Let's Play Acurie. And this is one that was kind of talked about right off the bat, but then, you kept making the miscues. Put the trotting hobbles on. That didn't fix it completely. But then, you look at that latest qualifier. If he could just match that, he's obviously a major player just off of that alone.
100%. The rest of them definitely are, going to have to catch up, except for one. in my opinion, anyway. And how do you say this horse's first name?
So when I search it up, it's Baccio. Like, naturally, I'd want to say Baccio.
Yeah, like
they
the game?
say
It's not a game? It's not the game where you things?
Yeah, that's bocce.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
The
bocce
one that
ball.
Joey and what's his name used to play on.
But baccio apparently is the Italian word for kiss.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right, there you go.
And Baccio Blue Chip, at least that's what I get. If anybody from Blue Chip is listening and we're wrong, then let me know. But, Google, in my opinion, kind of undefeated.
Okay.
But anyway, that's what we get from that one. And I know you do like this one, especially because of the new equipment.
Yeah, exactly. Going to be wearing the pants. There's been a couple of times there that I've really liked the way this guy has raced. I thought to myself a few times, wow, Bruce got himself a really, really nice horse. He's had good horses before, but this is a tactical landing. I don't ever remember him having a choice breed like that to work with. He usually makes good horses out of looks like a Chippendale or something like that. This is a pretty fancy bit of a breed for Bruce to reach into there. So I really do hope that this horse works out for him. I think this guy is a very underrated trainer driver, you know what I mean? So he's going to go to the hobbles with this guy. And I mean, this is one of those horses that, let's play Curry. He had that 57 qualifier. He's already trotted in 57. So you pretty well think that he's in that 56 range. And Baccio,
Yep.
He's been trotted a couple of times in 55. Well, the one time in 55, but he shows 27, 28 so many times on the end of it. And that's with a break. So now he's going to the hobbles there. I'm thinking to myself, if he's got the middle of the gate, if he can just keep him going, we know the intent is going to be to win. So I'm going to take a chance with the 6 horse in here and play him first time hobbles.
All right, a couple going that direction. And Baccio Blue Chip for Bruce Richardson, adding the trotting hobbles. Third and final OSS Grassroots division of the night comes up in race number 9. Field of 10 here. And Who Let the Dogs Out, who Randy was, teeing up already early on. This guy, he was in the NA Cup elimination, and then in Golds, including a really good effort behind Borderline Mobby there on June the 27th. And now John Pentland says, you know what, we're gonna try something else here. We're gonna go Grassroots right now and see what we can do. And on top of that, he draws ideally one of the best posts here.
Absolutely, but this is a huge drop down, getting away from that race at Grand River.
A Windor's in that same kind of
like
Vanderkamp
48.
As well.
That's huge. Yep. And I agree with you, Windor. We've seen him mix it up with the very best ones last year, but he another horse just didn't come back strong. But I got big faith in Vanderkamp that he'll get him back on track again. So I went 6-7. I think that this is a huge drop down for the 6 horse. But as Chad said, his last goal, June the 27th, this was a good effort. So we're going to show you that one. Bit of a discrepancy. So you're going to get to see him, what he's like in against gold horses, as opposed to who he's going to have to face in here with Grassrooters. Now, the graph that our crew showed you earlier, Dax Seelster is heading this. He's got the outside. I don't know if they have to go crazy with this guy, but he's going to be tough. But I don't see him having the ability of Who Let the Dogs Out. So you can see this guy on the end of it for Mark McDonald, right to the outside. Now Mark's going to start asking him to pace forward. And this is a really, really good bunch. But this horse is making ground up into this bunch. Yeah. Now, this is a complete different bunch that he's going to be facing in here tonight. Mark sticks, so Randy's going to stick as well.
Yeah, and seeing Redland Rockyman, it was second there. We know what he's done out of that race. Right. He went and won the gold at Grand River in track record fashion. He went south of the border, and was he second in the Milstein? Where he
was he second in that race? I can't remember.
I thought I remember a really good effort from him there. But
wow. Yeah, that is a big effort.
There, I thought it was a big effort.
Yes, and he come 3 wide.
Yeah, he was flying
on the end of it. Yeah. Who drove him? Do you remember?
He had the 7-hole.
He come from out of it there. Yeah. He raced really. Brett Miller.
Oh, was it Brett?
I think it was Brett Miller drove him. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, he did race very, very well. Yeah. So, like I said, I just think it's a big drop down for Who Let the Dogs Out.
Yeah, no, agree. He's going to get bet pretty heavily in there. Windor, obviously, is going to get some play also, especially with Dougie back aboard. Race number 10 to close things out. High Five finale, almost at $180,000. Continues to grow. We've got a pop-up series final to close things out. And this was a pop-up that there were 3 legs, I believe, right, for this one? Look at the pop-up again on Monday and all the claiming. 2 horses with 11 claims entered.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, just trying to get that horse for the final.
Yeah.
You know
what about Des Takur? He goes in there with Titanic Hanover and Southwind Sambuca. Hello. Talk about loaded
be a
for
little
there.
more confident now too.
Yeah, claiming horses for 8,000. You get to race for 25, and he's going in there with arguably the 2 best ones.
Yeah.
You know, unreal. That's lucky.
Missy Rocks is the morning line favorite in here. To Daryl Labor in this spot. Has been racing really well. But there's others. I think this is a lot more wide open than just hammering on Missy Rocks, in my opinion. What do you think?
I went All-Star Twinkle.
Okay,
I went to the one beside. This is going to be first start Jamie Copley for All-Star Twinkle. She had a good race in her last. So let's take a look at All-Star Twinkle's last race, August the 13th. To me, multiple moves and a good effort. Had the 5-hole, left out of there, got away third, then regains to the front, and ends up getting picked off right on the end of it by arguably one of the top ones in here, Ace 44 Daisy. Daryl Labor coming in here with a wicked 1-2 punch. Missy Rocks and Ace 44 Daisy. But in this one, All-Star Twinkle. This one driven by James McDonald. Picks up Trevor Henry tonight. Usually that's what we see with Jamie Copley. They're a heck of a team. And we're getting a really nice shoeing change on All-Star Twinkle. Jamie Copley going to take the steel off, go to a set of aluminum on this girl. So again, nice effort. Picks off James right on the end of it. But again, she did a lot of work that day. Multiple moves, found herself down to the half and 55-1. Little bit much for 8 claimers. So I think that if Trevor can temper it down a little bit with those new fast booties that she's wearing tonight, she looks good in here.
Yeah, I mean, the story of this race is really these trainers that have got kind of nice double options. You know, whether it's Cullen or Copley or Laver. A little maybe more competitive than just saying Missy Rocks, Randy going All-Star Twinkle in there. A couple will go Missy Rocks, and solid as a brick house for Kevin Plaucha going that one's direction as Michael Armstrong takes over with Mark McDonald in the bike. That's how we close things out on a Thursday 10-pack that does feature a lot of 2-year-olds. Looking ahead to tomorrow, we alluded to a couple of eliminations that are going to be contested for the Peace Away for the trotting fillies, and then the rookie colts in the William Wellwood. Big stepping stone for them. Some that we're likely to see later on in the Mohawk Million. That's just around the corner as well. But also on the program, 2 series that are now grade 3s. Great purses. It's a limit, a final, but there was no lim needed for either. So when you wish upon a star, we had 7 race last week. I don't want to get you going on that. It was a prep race.
Was it ever?
Americana Hanover is where James went. James, probably could have had the opportunity on Hurricane if he wanted.
I would think
that one the first start, but
sure. Nice pickup for Jody though.
Yeah, Jody's picked up a nice 1-second start here. Sean Stacy with a couple of them in there, fellows nice as well. But Americana Hanover was just stayed in and then was trying to squeeze out and find some room late, but. All in all, has looked good so far in her career.
Take a quick look. Where did I go?
Well,
where do you think Goofy Randy would go?
I don't even want to say because I saw it on the script.
Oh, did you?
I did see it on the script. Where you?
Tell him.
Mauritius.
Mauritius for Randall.
Long shot.
That's right.
10-1 morning line. What do you like about Mauritius?
The way she's been racing.
Okay.
I like Trevor coming back on her as well. You could go anywhere in this bunch. This is a really, really strong bunch. I mean, big fan of Rockin' J. Dale, Americana Hanover. Used to race the mother of Hurricane Hanover, so I'm a fan of hers. Treacherous Nova, huge fan of hers. But this Mauritius, I think she flies under the radar, and I think that she's as deadly in this class as any of them. And if TH to the front can somehow or another find her a nice cozy trip like he did a couple of starts ago when she nearly upset the apple cart, I like her in here, especially at that number, 10-1.
Yeah, and keep in mind, folks, when you wish upon a star, and then the Dreammaker that we're going to go to now in race number 7 as well on the card. These races have produced, superstars that have won them.
Oh, absolutely.
It's been a launching pad for a lot of them. Sean Stacy having a bunch of luck as well.
The horse that I won this with the 1 year won the North American Cup. Thinking out loud.
Oh, yeah. The Dreammaker in here used to be kind of, one that Tony Alanya would always send a bunch of great ones up here. 7 of them straight to the final. It clearly goes through, Shalom Hanover. He's just been such a superstar.
Yeah, and that's tough.
More back again with another top 2-year-old.
Yeah, and that's tough because that is a good field. I mean, you go down them, 9-11 Hanover, 15-1, and I don't think he's ever been beat so far. I think he's almost undefeated. The Blay the Blay twosome there.
Well, I know you love Hamilton.
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely,
you've liked him.
love him. This Captain Cavalier, like, I mean, if he had a
Jasinski's
couple,
brother.
if he had a couple of races underneath his belt and he didn't have the rail, I think that he could easily be playable in here too, especially picking up an aggressive driver with Gingras. But again,
Yeah, James won LA captain.
yeah, you can go up and down this field in this race, and you know, you could, you know, many ways to go. But right now, it's the biggest thing that I can't get away from Shalom Hanover is this gait. I can't get away from that gait. He's got a gait like Bobby Orr skates, you know. I mean, just effortless, fluid, and can make up a lot of ground. He actually, because he's not an overly big horse, but he's kind of long. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Real Desire when he was a 2-year-old. It wasn't overly tall, but he wore like a, you know, about a 59 to 61 inch hobble. He was long and just had this long, loopy, effortless gait. And those ones there, they're tough, you know, because they're so easy on themselves too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, likely some Metro horses, you know, coming.
Your favorite
out of that
race.
Yes, that's right. And again, another one that's just around the corner. So that's part of what's going to be a great dozen on the Friday card. We know the drill here. I'm going to head upstairs, Randy. Have some fun down here.
You too.
You take it away with your tickets and plays of the night.
Sounds good. Thanks for the help. Okay. Let's start this off, and we're going to start off with my early pick 5, and this is a bit of an expensive one, but this is one of those nights that I think you got to spend a little to get a little. So I'm going to start it off with Wisty Stinger and Global Choice. Global Choice going to be my top pick, but both colts coming in from the States. But when they left here, I thought both of them looked pretty good. In race number 2, I'm alling it. I mean, you can go so many ways in that one with with 2-year-old trotting colts. Some of them making mistakes, some of them fillies, just different ways to go. So I'm going to all that, which is going to cause a little bit of a, extra money. Race 3, I think I pretty well got it down to the top 2. Till the Cows Come Home is going to be my top pick in there. Race number 4, Peachy D, I'm going to single. I look for a single. I think that this is a big drop down in talent level for Peachy D to race against. And race number 5, that pop-up consolation, I'm going to go Jazzville from the rail as my top pick, but I'm also throwing CF Saving Grace in there as well. So that'll be my opening pick 5. And like I said, it is an expensive one, but that was just an all in race number 2. I'm hoping that it pays off that way. I alled the other night in a race and got a $31 winner, I think, on that one. So every once in a while you do get a little bit lucky. My pick 6, a little bit cheaper of a ticket, actually, half as much. So I'm going to start off with a single in race number 4, and that's going to be Peachy D, the one that I was talking about. And then it's just basically too deep from that point on. You can add a little, you can take a little bit away if you want. The 5th race, it's going to be Jazzville CF Saving Grace for first start Wayne Smith. Race number 6, Broadway Star and Check Mix in there. Race number 7, Illicit Behavior and Mega Moves. In race number 8, it's going to be the 5 and 6, Let's Play Ikuri and Baccio Blue Chip. And in race number 9, I'm going to also go too deep in here, and that is going to be Who Let the Dogs Out and Windor. Now, normally you would have to think that one of those 2 horses would be a single, but unfortunately they're basically both coming in here more or less showing the same kind of form. Both of them dangerous, so I'm going to throw them both in there. So $32 ticket in there. And in my late pick 5, again, a little bit cheaper than that opening one. So that's going to start off in race number 6. And I'm going to start off with 3, 5, and 8 in this one. And you can see which ones it is. Broadway Star, Check Mix, my top pick. And yeah, Dreamin' Sealster. That one's very interesting. Going to go first start for a Murner. Race number 7, that's going to be Mega Moves, Johnny Angel, and my top pick, Illicit Behavior. Race 8, Too Deep, Let's Play Ikuri and Baccio. Race number 9, Too Deep, Who Let the Dogs Out in Windor. Thank you very much to Jeremy Gerbatten for picking up my mistake. And then in finishing it off in race number 10 with the, oh, wait a second. Okay, yeah, in race number 10, we should, or in race number 9, that should be, yeah, so we should, so the late pick 5, right? Okay, so race number 10, that'll be All Star Twinkle. First start, Jamie Copley, and picking up TH to the front, Trevor Henry. So not a bad ticket there. I kind of like that one as well. Okay, so the quick plays of the night. My plays of the night are going to start in race number 2, and that's going to be Beat the Favorite. Is going to be Stormont Violet in there. Worth a look. Checks Mix, interesting. Picking up McClure for the first time. Waple's Watch is the Bruce Richardson trained bocce going to a set of hobbles for the first time. And All In is going to be Who Let the Dogs Out for John Pentland and Mark McDonald, taking the big drop from the Golds down to the Grassroots. Now, who else do we have? A couple of the resident handicappers, see what they have for plays of the night. Ghislaine Paquette, Stormont Violet. I'm all over that one too. Pay attention. I agree with you, Ghislaine. She was huge a couple starts ago here. Garnet Barnsdale, Peachy D, agree with that one too. I don't know if he's going to get a spot play on that one. I'm kind of looking at her as going off as favorite in that race, but regardless, it's a good pick. Kevin Plaucha going to go to Scorpion Seal, so that's a good pick. Picking up Mark McDonald. I can't remember what race is that. That's race number 7. I can't remember if Mark has drove this one recently. They always seem like they're kind of looking for a driver for Scorpion Sealster. Don't see too many double M's on there right now, but we all know that this guy brings massive speed, but sometimes I don't think, maybe he's not the easiest kind of a horse to drive too. This is a Bulldog Hanover out of the same mare as Sorsha Sealster, Soiree Sealster in there. So yeah, interesting pick there for Kevin Plaucha, first time Mark McDonald. Okay, so that's how we're going to start this Thursday night off. Stick around. We're going to be starting the first race very, very soon, and you don't want to miss it. Good luck.